Endowed me.
Endowed me.
Just fucking hedgehog balls fall off and down.
I'm thinking about time control for him and super strength. Mewtwo's still just like overall. I'm gonna say Mewtwo. I'm still gonna say Mewtwo. I think Mewtwo can do this.
Mewtwo is the best.
All right, Trey. What did we watch?
We watched Mewtwo and Shadow fight each other
to the death. Because that's what ScrewAttack does.
If it's not Mewtwo, I'm going to hell.
We watched like the analysis and everything, and like based on like what we've seen, and you guys can check out the video in the links below. Initially, like once they went over Shadow's specs because he went second, I thought like, I think he might win.
I think it's gonna be Shadow.
He might win, but at the same time, Mewtwo, and he brought up a good point. Do you want to say that point right now?
What?
It's the fact that he has the power to control minds.
Yeah, that's right.
Read people's minds.
Yeah, he can not only read but erase. And, Mewtwo might abuse the shit out of that.
Right.
And that was ultimately his downfall.
Yeah, even though like Shadow has speed and strength like covered.
Yeah, all these amazing feats.
But like Mewtwo knows the weakness, and that's what ultimately gave him that last edge to spoon him.
Oh,
get spooned.
Spoon.
Get spooned. Oh, don't.
Nice joke. Nice insert.
Right.
Insert.
Yeah, unfortunately, this is just gonna be a spoiler thing. It's just like us just talking about like how they went about doing this death battle. I like how they went with the sprites. Yeah. Because they've done like 3D animation before. I'm not sure exactly.
They've done a lot of different animations.
Right, but I just think that like this just works just fine. Like it's just the sprites.
Yeah. I think it's because since Mewtwo, Pokemon, it's generally 2D.
It's generally 2D.
Let's put Shadow in that realm.
Right, and Shadow had like 2D
animation. A lot easier to work with too. I mean.
Yeah, like Sonic Battle was a game that allowed for that kind of stuff for Shadow to be in there for a 2D sprite and stuff like that. So they definitely use that too. Yeah, so like at the end of it, I chose Mewtwo over Shadow at the very last minute because like I felt like the Psycho Connect, his powers with Psycho Connect stuff, telepathy, that kind of stuff, would overall like overpower Shadow. He never used Psychic on him, I don't think. No, it was only like his energy beams and stuff like that. Although I think he could have done that and actually done some damage in as well. Otherwise, I wish I could have seen like Mewtwo X instead and see how he'd fare with that. But I understand why it seemed to be like the bigger thing since people know it Y first, then X. But yeah. Also like Super Shadow, if it weren't for the fact that Mewtwo like read his mind, Super Shadow really would have like
stomped him.
Yeah, but thankfully Mewtwo like read it first.
Yeah. If it was a Pokemon battle, Mewtwo would have lost because Shadow would have went Mega Evolve and then whooped his ass. Well, but since this is a battle of feats, Mewtwo won because Mewtwo could read people's minds and ultimately Shadow can forget things very easily.
Yeah. How would that really turn out in like an actual Pokemon battle? Because it's turn-based.
Well, I mean, it seems like fucking what's his name? He used like time control or something. That's like Shadow Force or something.
Kind of like that.
Like from Giratina, so he just like went away for a minute and then came back and socked him in the head.
I guess so, except like the controller can't really do anything about it. I mean, we just saw Mewtwo like underestimate Shadow in that regard and had to read his mind, but it was too slow about it. But then, like, next time it's like, okay, I got this. So, yeah.
Well, if you consider that Shadow's a dark type, he would beat the shit out of Psychic, man.
Man, I don't think Shadow's in those kind of types. I think he's an edge type.
He's an edge type.
Too edgy for me.
Next confirmed Pokemon type?
It's
Edge.
It's a Mega Evolved form of dark.
Edge is super effective to both Fairy and Steel type Pokemon.
Oh yeah, like the whole. Oh, actually, never mind. It doesn't have anything to do. I was gonna bring up like Superman versus Goku, but Superman, like for those who didn't watch, spoiler alerts, Superman like fried Goku's brain, so that didn't bode well for him. Otherwise, I guess you could have used like some psychic powers against someone like Saitama, which someone brought up in the comments here on the actual video itself. But yeah, I think we're good here. I don't have any objections. Do you? About like who won this fight? I think it's pretty fair.
No, I think it's totally fair. It's Mewtwo. He's just ultimately he was he was ultimately made to do.
To be like the ultimate. Well, they're both made to be ultimate.
Yeah, so was Shadow, but I mean, Shadow, his weakness was that he forgets things very easily. Yeah.
And he doesn't have like the psychic powers either.
Yeah, exactly. And ultimately, I mean, that's what you want in a perfect being. You want them to read other people's fucking minds. Sounds like the perfect being right there.
Right. So,
like, how do I get this girl to sleep with me? Read her mind. Oh shit, she likes Cherry 7-Up. Oh, so I heard you like Cherry 7-Up. How'd you know? Because I do too.
Because I read your mind. Okay, but Death Battles and like ScrewAttack, I've never really like went against like their judgment. I know that Gabe has a thing about like, I think it was Wolverine versus it wasn't Dante, or was it Dante? I forget. Wolverine versus someone. It was Raiden from Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah.
So yeah, I know he has some beef about that. He went into some analytics, but he could talk about that later. But yeah, I think we're pretty much good here. It's really good Death Battle. I haven't watched them in a while. Gotta watch them more.
I was kind of on the edge about that Shadow versus Mewtwo because when they were talking about Shadow specs, I was like, this guy's way overpowered. But then he was like, oh, yeah, he forgets things. I'm like, it's Mewtwo.
There it is.
Yep.
All right, we're good here. # bye.
I don't know how they tied in that freaking Mega Evolve stuff.
It just did.
I didn't like the Shadow game.
Same here. I think it's just 3 edgy 5 me. Jesus Christ.